This actually all started as a Coachella family, like as a Coachella party fam.
To go back 2 years ago, we were on BLM land right next to the Grand Canyon, and we had what was titled a May Day campout. I think probably like 40, 50 people showed up to that. By the end of the weekend on Monday morning, we're all sitting around looking at each other like,
hey, let's do this every year. Let's have a gathering for the family that's just kind of ours.
I think we all realized that most of us really clicked really well, and that we wanted to be able to hang out with our friends in an environment that we had control of.
We were looking at a few properties, and a couple of them fell through, and looked at Tang and I'm like, how about Cowtown Key Largo?
I went to a rave there in '97, and there was a lot of parties going on out there at the time, and then it kind of fell foul. We just started kind of the discussion of like, hey, well, we're looking for a home for this, for our event, you know, and it's gotten so big, I can't just throw it in the woods anymore.
2 months later, it was like locked.
Oh my God.
Wait, is it? Hi!
Cowtown Key Largo was, it remains the most unique place I have ever had the privilege of spending time in that kind of a mental state. There was also a lot of elements that ended up coming together at the venue itself. For example, like the saloon, which was like probably the most interesting variable.
As soon as I walked in the bar, I was like, okay, well, this is probably the coolest bar I've ever been to in my entire life in like 10, 12 countries or whatever.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh my God, my leg! Ouch! Ow! I think a lot of people found that that was the space where they had some of the best moments of their festival. I mean, there was this huge karaoke party on, I think it was on Saturday night. I think there was like 30 people in there, all belting out lyrics of the same horrible song.
Our whole idea behind building our artist lineup was first and foremost to give people the opportunity to play, who are our friends. But this year, again, we wanted to take it up a notch with national talent.
You ever wonder what's up there? Maybe someone up there was wondering what it's like here. Do you think we'll ever meet them? I hope so. Don't you?
It's always a passion project for everybody, and I think that's what also helps keep the energy kind of pure, because you just have to really love what you're doing and love playing music for people, and that shines, you know, and that's what comes through.
I mean, we had a total of 150 plus artists who applied. So it became fairly quickly apparent that if we wanted to give everyone or almost everyone an opportunity to play music, we'd need more than one stage, which it introduced an element that we didn't have in the first year. But it also gave us a lot more liberty to have different sonic focuses at each of the two stages, which would be complementary, ideally complementary.
The first person to hop on who really kind of helped us take it to a next level, his name's Mark Martinez. He goes by Subset. He really helped put us in contact with a couple really awesome artists. We ended up getting a couple people from the Midwest, from New York City, Portland.
We're attracting other artists too from other places. Like, we're saying, hey, this is what we're doing. Like, you're not going to get paid a ton of money, and it's not going to be like a huge exposure thing. We don't have thousands of people here, but it's going to be very wholesome, and it'll be good for your soul.
The biggest surprise definitely was Dunks from Funk Hunters coming down. And I mean, we knew about 24 hours before he showed up that he was going to come down. He played with a good friend of mine, Sam Class, who goes by Classic, who is Canadian as well and has played guitar with him all over. And then they had my friend Matt Hayes, who is a saxophone player who I've known since I was 18, who's really up and coming in Tempe. And there, he just gave him a shot. He gave him a shot, and Matt like ended up playing his own, like the last song of the set was his own track. And then he got up on the decks at sunrise and played for 6 hours straight.
You know, some friends who wanted to do DJ sets initially ended up coming out with like full bands, and it kind of just like grew and grew and grew into this like multi-genre event, which is, I think, probably what made it so unique this year, is because we didn't only have one sound. It meant that the whole spectrum of tastes that were out there, just in like, you know, in the people who come out, were able to be fulfilled in some way.
I think you can feel it when you're there. There's this real family, tight friend vibe. And it's not so much that it's like exclusive or elitist. It's just everybody feels really comfortable around each other.
Yeah, I pretty much try to describe to people as a family reunion. It's become something pretty special. It's kind of hard to describe to people. It's still growing. And that's one of the most important things of this whole thing for me, is I don't want it to be like an exclusive party. Like, I don't want it to be like it's our people, and if you don't know us, you can't come. Because that's the only way that we can get new people to adopt this mentality of just like pure like community and like pure love and just like graciousness that I've experienced.
As it grows, it's only been getting better. Like every year, everyone says, this was better than last year, this was better than last year.
Everyone wants to come back. Anyone who comes has a lot of fun, really feels like it's still in the incubator phase and it's special, and says that they're good to go for the next couple of years and want to help however they can.
I think the Good Vibe Get Down will remain an annual event, but I think it will also remain a very personal, close to our hearts, curated event that is never going to try to grow, or at least in the foreseeable future, it's never going to try and grow faster than it should be growing.
And I think we're going to really build on our relationship with Key Laco and start trying to, you know, put a little bit of effort back into their infrastructure.
Seeing just all of these different variables come together for this weekend was, I don't know, it was very enlivening, and for me, it made me realize that we have the power to do so much.
We're definitely learning. I'm really excited about where we're gonna go next year. We want to have positive impact on everyone's life, and still continue to have that family feel, you know, and not just turn into another festival.
Now we're just using the energy that we found there to build something that we think is truly unique and worthy of recognition.
Frankly, we just want to keep spreading the word and the awareness and make sure it's sustainable for them and it's sustainable for us, and just have a lot of fun and see your friends and make new friends. And yeah, maybe make a living doing it one day.